Groundhog's Day again?
We're back.
All right, I'm not gonna bang the gavel, I'm just gonna say we have a quorum. We're not missing anyone. And so the meeting will commence. And public comment. I think, can you add? Yeah, please. Thank you. We have 2 people signed up for public comment. And they are, and you'll have to pronounce your name if you're in here, Isabella Cabo?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, yeah, can you stand maybe behind Amy? That's probably the best spot for you. And just say your name. Public comment is 60 minutes. Well, we only have 2 people. You get 3 minutes. Andy, you're gonna timing. So go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Isabella Cobble and I am a homeowner and property taxpayer here in the city of Boulder, and I'm here in support of the library workers forming a union. Ever since I was young, I've always loved books and reading, and I couldn't wait to get my first library card. It felt so official and like I had a lot of power as a 7-year-old. Admittedly, I haven't been reading for fun as much since I started my engineering PhD program at CU a couple years ago, since I read a lot of academic papers for work. But I always loved going to the library to get a romance novel or a mystery thriller book where I can get lost in the plot and just forget about my research for a while. So if I'm downtown near Pearl Street, I'll go to the main library branch here to peruse for a book, or if I'm going on a hike in South Boulder, I'll go to the George Reynolds branch. I also live closest to the Meadows branch, so it's super convenient to walk, bike, or drive there. So no matter which library branch I go to, all the librarians and staff are super helpful and kind. They're always answering questions about finding books, providing guidance on accessing materials, and generally cultivating a safe and inclusive environment at the library. So all the Boulder library branches are really critical to making our community a better place to live. So I encourage the Board of Trustees to voluntarily recognize the Boulder Library Workers Union. Library workers deserve to have stability, security, and protection in their jobs, since they help so many people in our community every day. I believe that extending voluntary recognition to the union will further improve the Boulder Public Library District. And thank you very much for your time.
Okay, our next speaker is Amy Schrader.
Yes. Usually Schroeder.
Oh, yeah, okay. O-E, I thought Schrader. I don't know.
My name is Amy Schrader. I'm one of the cataloging librarians here at BPLD. I'm speaking tonight to share a little bit about why I want a union for our staff and to ask the board to voluntarily recognize us. I love working here. Easily the best library job I've ever had. And part of that is because of the people I work with, and part of that is because of the benefits that I've gotten. I went into anaphylactic shock for the first time in my entire life, 7 days into last year. I was home by myself, had to call an ambulance, went to the ER. And even though my medical bills still added up to roughly 2 months of take-home pay after that, my insurance that I have through my job here covered almost all of it, including EpiPens, allergy testing afterwards, allergy shots that I'm still taking, all of this other stuff, and the rest of my medical expenses. And I've never had that before from any other library position, and I'm extremely grateful for that. And I was also able to take 4 full days off of work with PTO this year to help staff a summer camp called Girls Rock Denver, which is like the coolest, most punk rock summer camp ever for girls and gender expansive youth. And because of my PTO, I was able to really get involved in it, and I'm on the staff for next summer because I am able to do that again. But like I want a union because of those things, because I have all of these amazing benefits and I want to protect them. I want to be able to have input and make sure that I'm supporting my other staff, my fellow staff members. And being an at-will employee means I could lose those benefits without notice and without input. And we live in a time where things are increasingly uncertain every day, just in the world at large. And having a union is just another added arena of solidarity and community building and support just among staff and in our community as a whole. And the library hired us because we're professionals, we're intelligent, we're the best for the job. So please continue to show that confidence in us by voluntarily recognizing the union, so that we can continue carrying out BPLD's goals and community service, so that we want to stay here and we want to continue doing that.
Can you ask if there's anyone online that would like to speak? Oh, if there'll be one online that would like to speak, raise your hand. And seeing no one raising their hand. Oh, okay, sure. What's your name?
Elliot Asher.
Elliot. Okay. Can you stand over there? Would that be okay?
Okay, so thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Elliot Asher. I'm a Boulder resident and homeowner. I'm here tonight to express my support for library workers organizing and having a union. As a member of the community and a property taxpayer, I care deeply about the long-term health of our public institutions. Libraries are skilled, committed workers who show up every day to serve the public. Research consistently shows that unionized public workforces have lower turnover and more stable service, which ultimately benefits the communities that fund them and helps save taxpayers money. From my perspective, supporting workers' ability to organize is aligned with good governance and leads to better service for the community. I hope the board recognizes that community members like me support library workers having a seat at the table, and I encourage you to voluntarily recognize the union. Thanks.
Thank you, Elliot. Okay, so I believe that concludes our public comment. If you came in late and didn't get to sign up, raise your hand. No? Okay. All right. The next, I'm going to close public comment, and next we're moving to consider approval of the meeting minutes from December 16th, 2025. Any comments on these meeting minutes? Okay, I'll make
I'll move to approve.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right. Now, recommend to change the PCI compliance standard. IT Director, Amy.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. Good evening, I'm Amy Shum, I'm the IT Director here at the Boulder Library. And I just want to make one correction on the table that is in this document where it says FC PCI Compliance Management Monthly Service. That fee is not actually going away. We're reducing that fee to about half. So total actual savings by changing our PCI strategy will be around $71,400.
I'm so sorry, just to clarify, so the total, the last column is 71,400, not the
Correct.
column that you just, okay,
Correct.
okay,
But the reduction happened in that first column,
okay.
but the change happened in that first column. I'm sorry.
Repeat that.
Yeah.
So the PCI compliance management fee
Okay.
is actually going to be $25,200. So total savings by changing our PCI compliance strategy is going to be $71,400. That's the new savings from changing our PCI strategy.
Okay. Can I ask a silly, what is the PCI?
I think she's going to tell you.
Okay.
Sure. So PCI compliancy is what anybody that takes in credit card transactions either needs to assume that PCI compliance themselves, or they need to rely on the vendors to assume that PCI compliance. And when we first broke away from the library district, we were setting ourselves up to take on that full liability, mostly because I didn't really have a good understanding of what type of PCI compliance we needed to have in the library. So we went down the full PCI compliancy road, which requires much more stringent qualifications. After doing this for about a year and a half, I realized that it was a little overkill for the amount of money that we take in for credit card transactions. So we actually are moving towards more library industry standard PCI DSS. And in simple terms, it just means that the liability is going on our credit card reader vendors. So JP Morgan Chase, PayPal, and NYIAX are the 3 credit card vendors that we use to process credit card transactions. They're the ones that need to be fully PCI compliant. We as a library, bringing in minimal credit card transactions annually do not need to be that PCI compliant. So we're scaling back, which is saving us money. It's saving me a ton of time on compliancy work. And it's just overall an industry standard that libraries have set for themselves to move to this PCI DSS. Does that help explain? Cool.
Perfect.
Did we as a board approve the original PCI compliance? I mean, was that something we did earlier? I'm just not remembering.
It was part of the original contract that we had with our managed service provider.
Okay.
Yeah, we probably broke even. Fees versus like profit.
Roughly, what volume of credit card transactions are we processing?
Off the top of my head, and Jen, I don't know if you know this, it's around
Ballpark.
200,000. It's within the tier 3 for this particular type of PCI DSS that we're going for. I want to say between 200,000 and 300,000 annually.
And if I recall, tier 3 goes up to $1 million a year, so we're well below that.
Well below that threshold.
I found it. Payment card industry. PCI. Did not want to ask.
We'll gladly reallocate your $92,000. $72,000. So,
Does this even need a formal vote?
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm asking for you guys to take on that liability rather than myself of
Oh, okay.
moving to the PCI DSS. So I'm asking for your approval.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so we all in favor of that? All in favor of approving this PCI DSS policy change?
Yep.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Thank you. It'll take place March 1st.
All right. Good work. Yeah. Only those kind of things, David. Bring those. Only those. Things. All right. We're kind of moving through. Social media moderation policy.
Swap places, Amy.
Amy, you can have a chair.
Yep, you can have a hot seat. Oh, okay. Can everybody over there see that? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So I hope everybody had a chance to read the social media policy. It's a pretty standard one. And I just wanted to call out a couple of points. This policy is not about silencing anybody. This is more about you understand the dialogue, and we support that. This policy is to give the team a clear and consistent way of moderating the conversations that we have on social media, and it protects both the district and also the community. We need to understand that our social media channels are not a forum. They're not public forum. It's just a place where we share information about the services that the library offers, and content that violates, the policy can be hidden, removed, and if people keep going after, we can ban them or block them. This includes content that can be abusive, harassing, harmful, is a threat, defamatory, somebody that wants to promote their products or services or any shared credit information. If somebody still wants to, have concerns, they can always reach us to the Ask a Librarian, and we definitely can listen to them and make sure that is why we, hide the comment or ban them is clear and is not arbitrary. And so I just wanted to show, sometimes in a post, it takes only one person to start something and then it snowballs and it gets out of control. Some of the posts just get really, really bad pretty quickly. So we need this policy so the team can really, get ahead and control these conversations.
So I was curious, so in a couple of places, the policy's written so that the district can make the determination when to remove something or whatever. So who specifically is that? Is that you, David? Is that you? How does that work?
Maria and team and I discuss it. Maria's team and I discuss it. But I mean, this policy, I will designate Maria and her team to make those decisions.
Okay.
There's some that it's not like I don't like this book. It's I like this book, and you can make $5,000 a day working from home and never pay taxes if you just click on this link.
I get that. I'm just trying to understand who is determining that. Okay.
So I went through this things, and my concern is I think that we are on thin ice. We have as a policy, you can't make comments pertaining to political or partisan activities. And I think if we had a policy that says you can't solicit money for candidates, et cetera, I don't think that's an issue. But this seems to me a little too generic as to what we're rolling out, and also opens the door. There's an awful lot of criticism from the right around platforms that are shutting down quote unquote speech. And we're a library and we're about the First Amendment. And I just think that's going to open the door to problems the way that is. I did a little bit of research on this afternoon. I didn't have a lot of time, but I thought, we could say something to the degree that comments that are so like the city has a code of bias, the state has some laws about bias commenting. If we crafted it around that might give us a little more authority to say, oh no, you can't put that up there, or this is why we took this down. But if someone wants to come on and a comment says, Phil Weiser's great, or Michael Bennett's great, or Donald Trump is great, I don't think we can be in a position of taking that down.
No, and I think the comments political comments usually are very, inappropriate. It's not like, I support this party or support that party, but I think we can qualify and be more specific on it. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like what we're concerned about are comments that are political and fall into one of the other categories.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we need,
Maybe we just get rid of that.
I don't know if we need
just
that.
take one out and leave the others.
Because if the concern is disparaging political comments, then it's already incoming too.
Yeah.
So that might be cleaner.
Yeah.
I was wondering about the one that says,
So wait, what was the edit you wanted to make? Or
I would say we could just remove line 1.
Okay, remove it.
I was wondering about number 7. It says postings made through a false, I'm just wondering what that would mean in practice.
Do you want $5,000 to work from home or whatever? It's a fake person.
So it's in it, but
No,
That's how I read it.
7 is about false identity.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
That's how I read it.
what would that mean?
It's not a real person
like
or it's a bot
Or I'm like Trump.
Or somebody that's impersonating somebody else. You can go online and create, I can be you, right? I say, I'm impersonating you, so.
What's the concern there?
I think this is more, know that we have seen this, by just covering all the bases.
I mean, yeah, because I can understand not wanting lots of like bot posts, but like if I just have like an anonymous account and I'm posting with that, would that?
No,
No, that would be like, I'm the governor of Colorado and I made this up and it's like not a real posting.
So like appropriating someone else's identity.
Yeah, and some of it, when post explodes, a lot of them are bots. Like we can see, so that's kind of like where it falls.
Mhm. Okay.
And
So
that's the hardest part for us to discern, but it's also what we would like to prevent.
Yeah.
For reference, last month was the first month that AI bot traffic now exceeds human traffic on the internet, which is pretty remarkable.
It's crazy.
So, I mean, is there a different language that maybe would?
No, I think that's fine. I wanted to make sure that that's what we were talking about and not just like that postings had to somehow be verified.
Does the State Library Association have a policy or any?
These came from the ALA, American
Okay,
Library
but
Association.
but Colorado doesn't have,
They
so they
adopt
use
the
this?
ALA.
Okay, got it.
But I wonder if that shouldn't say false identity instead of falsification
just-
of identity.
Okay.
Could just say impersonation is generally what we call that.
Okay.
But we're basically using the AMA's language here.
Yeah.
And Kim, I mean, I guess if it's the AMA's language, they've already made a determination here, but the case law on this is pretty gray right now. Yeah, like the recent Supreme Court rulings and stuff that,
Yeah,
like we are a government speaker. There's no
yes,
question about that.
Yep. But you're talking here about a what's called a limited public forum. So you're in this policy defining what that forum is. So you could have a policy that says, we have a chat area where we talk about 50 Shades of Gray, period. And that's it. And you can remove anything else from that thing. So you're doing the same thing here. You're sort of creating that box so that anything that's outside of that box you can remove. Is that open?
Yeah.
And you can even remove political speech and commercial speech, whatever you define. But if you allow a little political speech, you gotta be really careful about where you draw it. Gotta be very clear.
Right, and I guess if we had this policy and we were doing another tax vote and the district was posting in favor of the tax issue, I don't know that this would hold up.
I don't think we could do that either.
Yeah, you can anyway.
We can't.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be a violation of Colorado law.
That's a whole different matter.
Once you refer to the ballot, you can't make any more promotions for it.
All right, I guess if this is aligned with the AMA recommendations, it does seem a little like
ALA, it's
ripe for a legal challenge.
the American Library Association. Well, I mean, there's plenty of challenges. I mean, so the difficult part, because oftentimes we wrap our heads around, is like, we are an organization which stands up for
Free speech.
Free speech.
Yeah.
But in no way is free speech in any way a given within our buildings or within our forums. We are a quasi-public forum. We have the ability to control the time, manner, and place of any of those discussions. We do not have to allow free speech to occur anywhere on our site. I mean, we do outside allow for signatures and all kinds of other kinds of things, and we have generally been supportive of those kinds of things, but that doesn't, we would not allow somebody to come into the library wearing an advertisement, right? We would not allow somebody coming in and wearing something that, a sandwich board that had offensive speech if it was causing a disturbance. Like if it was like, which we've had in the past, right? It was a misogynistic sandwich board, essentially, that they paraded around the library. And in some ways, it was just like having a Coca-Cola. It was speech that was disturbing other people's ability to use the library. They were removed for disturbance of that ordinary use. So we are not just an open forum for free speech. The theater is different in the sense in which we've allowed and made clear that the theater, when it's open, has allowances for all kinds of types of speech from the stage, and we do not control that.
I think we'll see. I think we'll see how the comments go. Hopefully it's not a big issue. We can always come back and look at it and say, oh, that worked or that didn't work. I mean, it's hard to draft this in such a way that I think that makes it protects the legality and protects speech to the point where it's useful.
I would just say as a practical matter, you probably don't want to have to take every moderation decision to David. Like, I would
No.
suggest trying to push this down to the staff level.
Yeah, no, I've seen enough, I think. I mean, and to your point, Doug, it's not prevalent.
Yeah.
It is a very minor thing taken more often than not. What I would describe as a non sequitur. It's just like totally off base, but attempt to generate traffic through its own zone.
Yeah, like
More
you
so
make
than-
$5,000 from home.
More so than offensive speech by a long shot.
How time consuming is the monitoring of this?
Well, it depends, some, the post that I saw, we had, many comments. But, we post 2 or 3 times a day, so, the team is, I don't can quantify, but, we are on it. So as it goes, and during the weekends, this happened over a weekend, so we just have to be mindful and, if we make a post that we think is going to spark some controversy, we just have to be sure that we are on it.
And just for that, we made an agent at work that tracks all of this, and so you can put like all of these rules in, and it would help you. You can do it like try it on ChatGPT, but you can do it, and it would like help you monitor it. So it would flag it for you, so you don't have to like manually do it. So if you say like you can give it like words that usually come up, or like account users that always hit. And it just like saves you time. It like you still have to read through, but try it. Like just go on, if you go on to OpenAI, you can make it yourself. That's what we did, and it just makes my life life a little easier.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That would be very helpful. Thanks.
Can you point to what posting or what you're referencing here?
This was the drag story.
Oh, the drag queen story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like have it reference like your sites, like give it your account information, like your account user, like words you usually see, and like it will help do it all for you. It's pretty cool.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
You can also turn the comments off on some posts, I think. We're allowed to do that. But we're right, we have the right to do that. When we post something, just turn the comments off.
It seems like most of these that I've gotten involved in was because somebody complained.
Yeah.
So, I think the monitoring is less, it's not that burdensome because somebody's complaining.
Yeah.
That was my concern about one. That was my concern about one, so that's a setup for complaint.
Yeah. And
So I'll make a motion that we approve this minus item 1.
I'll second it. Any comments? Okay. All in favor? Say aye. All opposed? No. Okay, this carries. Great. We'll do director updates.
Yeah,
You know, okay. The flood in the basement. Maybe give a quick
The
comment.
flood in the basement, so, there's a component failure, in the system, probably having to do with the controls. What it meant was, 2 floods, separated by about a week. The second one was more damaging, no loss of flooring, but we did get water in the base of the walls of the sheetrock, and all the insulation had to be removed. We have a claim into the insurance agents. They saw it as we saw it. I fully expect that to go forward. Separate claim in for the failure of the components, HVAC. The HVAC component, which some of you have been in the basement, some of you have not. It's a glorified swamp cooler. And by glorified swamp cooler, I mean a gigantic swamp cooler. And one of the drain valves failed to close automatically. And so that led to water pouring into a room. Michael's ear caught it on the first time, and we actually prevented a major flood. And then the second time around, we didn't catch it.
When did this occur?
Over the weekend. It happened on both times on a Sunday, I think. Saturday, from a Saturday night over to a Sunday morning.
December 28th and so January 3rd.
So,
6th, one of those.
He mentioned it in our meeting.
Okay.
That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
We didn't work, there was no work stoppage, we had to, the shelving crew, materials handlers, adjusted their work up to the first floor. It was kind of interesting for a week to see them all there, and the public got to interact with all the shelves. They were doing their work. But we did lose 4 days in the basement, so that's not a cost for us. There is, associated fallout is that by tearing out all the insulation in the basement and cutting basically holes, cutting 20-inch gap on the floors, as we're getting a lot of cold air that we didn't get prior to that. So anxious to get it fixed. I think it'll be soon that we'll get approval of the work order to move forward and get a work team in there to finish out the re-insulating and putting back the walls. There was no loss of books or anything major.
Do you let the city know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they know.
It wasn't their fault. I mean, it's
They
a.
offer to help?
No. We asked for permission to let it drain into the street.
And they granted it. It was clean water. The first time the city came out, the first one, they gave us an acoustic test and we couldn't tell it was, what's the chlorinated water. And so then we were not sure where the origin was. Right? Had that initial test been conclusive, it would have probably prevented us from having the second flood, but that's not the city's fault. We had inconclusive tests which did not show that the water was either generating from a purified water or if it was groundwater. And the plumber that we had thought at the time that it might be groundwater, which seemed improbable and a little zany, but we didn't have proof otherwise. So we were looking at all kinds of causes. Yeah, the situation, it is stopped. It won't happen again for a third flood, but it is we need to get it fixed pretty quick. We got cold in the building over the weekend.
All right. Well, it's gonna get cold this weekend.
Yeah.
It's cold right now in the building,
Oh,
uncomfortably so for some of our staff.
like in the basement or just the whole
A
building?
part of the basement that's not
Okay.
fully staffed all the time, but the children's area and the teen space are pretty cold.
Because of the insulation.
In part, that's another issue that we've had for
Yeah,
decades. The
okay.
children's and teen area, as you remember last year, or 2 years ago, when we had the heat problems, we were looking at alternate sources of cooling for those areas. It's because they're not well tied into the HVAC system. That was an engineering flaw of the joining of the 92 building and the 74 building. It's probably a preferred situation. We had a separate HVAC to heat and cool the children's teen space. It's well over $250,000. I have no idea the exact cost. It's expensive.
Okay.
And at various times we've had it working so that it worked well. It's not good.
But when the insulation goes back in, we think it'll
It'll make a difference.
make a difference.
And then we're also undergoing a controller, the software is being rewritten
Okay.
so that we can actually control the components, and then they're mapping all of the components once they find them and determining if they need maintenance or replacement. So every area of the library is getting attention.
Yeah, your background's in engineering, right? It's kind of curious. There are valves in the teen area.
It sounds like
we have no idea where they're originating.
Yeah.
No idea. And our facilities team doesn't know, and the city department's not able to know. So it's complicated.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's these old buildings and the HVAC systems are. This is not. There's not like a straight wall in this building, so yeah, it's difficult. Jennifer, you sound like you've become an expert. Did you think that you would go into facilities when you?
I do whatever.
Okay.
Really well.
Real quick, I had a quick question, because I think this is our first regular meeting after the power shut off, so I was just wondering if there was any learnings from kind of the most recent round of Excel power shut downs when the library was closed for some of that, or anything we should be thinking about as we head into probably more of this in the future?
Internet or anything, or?
No, I mean, some lessons learned, right? So the big lesson is that the mapping is imprecise. Even as far in advance as Excel gives us mapping, This building only was in the map for the scheduled shutdown. We subsequently shut a lot of things down, including the internet, all of our servers, we took them offline in advance of the shutdown in hopes that we wouldn't lose anything. In the end, this building did not lose power until it inadvertently lost power at the same time that North Boulder lost power. And so, I don't know, it's an imprecise science. So obviously, again, a major expense. We may at some point look up backup energy sources. Reynolds and Meadows were never intentionally shut off. They only lost power when power was lost, as this building, which is curious because that building was part of the intentional shutdown, and I'm not sure that we were never really given a rationale for why. I think it was partly the whole notion of public safety. Right, so the public safety thing, I don't know who lobbied who and how those things were. Also, the whole city government was closed down. I think that's partly why the library building was in the map. The courts, whether they lobbied or not, were not part of the XL shutdown because they said that they would be too far behind on court dates if they lost Fridays in court. So they only lost power when power was lost, not a part of the intentional shutdown. Pearl Street did not shut down. It's a public safety issue. One would wonder, right? I mean, is it in the interest of public safety to ask people to come down and shop on a day and go to a restaurant? I don't know.
I would say, I
Want to
think,
eat hot food. Anyway.
I think you did a great job, keeping what you could open. I like to see that. I mean, I think, there's gonna be some days where you have to just batten down the hatches, close everything up, and try to come back online as quick as possible. And, hopefully facilities folks can come through and make sure everything's okay. I think we asked for something in May to about emergency backup and emergency plans on, I don't know if we'll have time in May, but yeah, on internet and stuff like that. Because I know the whole town lost internet, and so maybe you would still lose internet no matter what. So I don't know. So it may not be a possibility because once the internet went down, and then most of the phone towers went down, then all of 5G, at least for a lot of people, that need to be included. So.
But could people have, so we had even no electrical power?
Not in that building. This building, we did have electrical power until the power went off as a result of an incident, right? The main building was voluntarily, well, not voluntarily, that's part of the XL's public safety protocols was to shut down the building, which we thought meant this building as well, which meant that the branches, even though they were open, we could not supply them with internet services. Had the internet gone out subsequently, outside of that with our service provider, we probably would have lost. But we shut this building down entirely as if to secure it in the event of wind hazard. That never actually happened. We did lose power here, I think on the first time, 3 or 4 p.m. We had people working in the building. I mean, there are people here working that, we need power for something that worked.
I just wondered, because some places could be, charging stations or.
Yeah, I think they did a pretty.
We did. Yeah, we did 2 charging
they only
stations.
closed one.
Gunbarrel, Novo, Gunbarrel stay open most of the time. We did close Gunbarrel for part of the day. Gunbarrel and Novo were open for charging stations Thursday. I think Novo at some point lost power. Gunbarrel never lost power. I believe Reynolds and Meadows both lost power at some point. We had them open at various times during the outages. For people who would charge their phones.
Well, maybe dumb question. When the lights go out, that goes on though, right? That light.
Oh, yeah, emergency lighting,
Yeah.
Till the battery dies.
Until the battery dies.
It's usually one light.
Probably about an hour.
Okay. All right. Director updates complete. See, you thought you had nothing. The Boulder Library Foundation. Chris.
Sure, thanks. Well, we've been closing the books on 2025, and it was a really great year. I mean, The theme has been we're growing to support a great cause, and financially fundraising across the board was up 30%. Kind of an average incremental year would be 5 to 10%. So that was really great. Helped by a real successful gala, and then also over 70% growth just in our general annual fund fundraising. We did pick up an additional fundraiser with Julie Yates halfway through the year. That helped a lot. And then we were able to support some really great library programming to the tune of about $350,000 in various grants that are helping with everything from literacy and outreach to the arts to the archives over at Carnegie. And we opened a new endowment at the end of the year to support Carnegie. So that's all really great. We had a continuing strong partnership with Boulder Bookstore, filling up Canyon Theater with author talks, and the latest example was last week when it was a completely sold out Peter Heller author talk, and so that was recorded as a episode of Radio Book Club that will be on KGMU next month, and that was terrific. One of my favorite Colorado authors. Just yesterday, registration opened for our book club competition. We already have 15 book clubs that have signed up, including an all-male book club called the Illiterati. So this is the first time we've done this.
What is it?
Yeah, it's a book club competition. So if you're in a book club, you register you and your book club.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have registration open until about this time next month. And then it'll be 3 weeks of challenges. And the idea is that the challenges are everything from participate in a program at the library to check out a book to write a love note to a librarian, nothing personal.
Yeah.
To make a gift to the Library Foundation for Library Gifts Day, which will follow that up. And we got prizes. The top prize, your book club, we take you out to dinner. I mean, we pay for your dinner. And the second prize is we buy the next round of books that your book club wants to read. And then we got tote bags for third prize. Everybody gets a die cut sticker, and it's an adorable literal bookworm skiing down a slope on a book. So that'll be fun to see how this works. Our friends in Charlotte have their own version of this that's been wildly successful, so we're giving this a try. And then the final thing I want to mention, those of you who've attended the gala in the past received an email in December with this good news, but we have America's #1 best-selling author coming to headline our gala September 17th. Virginia Evans wrote The Correspondent.
I'm listening to it right now. I've got 43 minutes left. I know.
That's a well-cast audiobook, isn't it?
It's great.
Yeah, with 10 different voices acting. So it's an epistolatory novel, very character-driven, and it came out last April and just really got word of mouth popularity. This is a 39-year-old first-time published author of 7 novels that weren't published. And then finally this was published and went through word of mouth. By the end of the year, it was the #1 hardcover in the United States. And I just am pinching myself that she said yes. And so
it's going to be so fun.
It's so fun. And we'll have fun thinking about, like, how do our thing is to turn the library into the book for the evening. So how do you do that? How do you do that with this? She made. There are book clubs now reading the books referenced in the book.
Yeah,
that's a thing for those of you who read it. Like, all these letters she writes back and forth. Like, I'm reading this. What are you reading?
Yeah.
And then she corresponds with Joan Didion and other authors. So it'll be fun to think about, how to do that. But those. We will put the table sponsorships on sale probably this Thursday if I can get everything together.
What's the date?
Thursday, September 17th. So just about exactly the same time as last year. And we'd love to see all of you there. We will have an early bird special where last year's table sponsorship prices are what you pay up until May 1st. So Or we do a
Somebody-
special event.
Like the morning before you sent that email or night before or whatever, they were like, you guys should get the correspondent. And then you sent that email and I was, they were like, oh my God.
Yeah. There's a really good interview with her on one of the recent New York Times book review podcasts.
Yeah, and Katie Couric interviewed her for Katie Couric's book club for its first ever episode yesterday.
Cool.
So you can Google that.
Katie Couric here. No.
Yeah, and she was on Good Morning America, and she's just a lovely person. She's pitching herself. She's like, I don't understand book business. I don't get this. She's great.
It's so fun.
That's a great snag.
Yeah, we'll have fun. We'll all have fun supporting the library that weekend.
Keep winning. Okay.
Can I just-
Oh, sure.
I don't know if this is better for you or the library, but the librarians, the documentary that went around.
So did the Darien.
The Dairy, well, Dairy, the local theater and Curious Theater in Denver have a joint production, sort of came out of that called Bad Books. It's at Curious right now, it's coming to the Dairy in a week or two, for like a 2-week run. And I just thought, great place to table about both the library and the Library Foundation, or reach out to local to see if we could put a flyer in the program. But it's gonna be an audience that's gonna be our kind of people.
Just so you guys know, I met with local theater today. They are coming to do stuff with theater on us, hopefully on like a quarterly basis now. We're working out what that's going to look like. So that will hopefully be like one of their programs. And that film, The Librarians, I've reached out to them like 5 times. I will find a way to get it here soon. They're just slow on emailing back. I think they're making an Oscar push right now, so I think their hands are a little full. But those are all good things to bring to the theater, and we're trying to do them.
Thanks for flagging that, Tom.
Okay. Hearing no more comments or anyone else jump in. I think a little bit up on trustee matters. I think we'll start with Andy and Benita. Is that okay? Or
Yeah,
do you
that's
have
fine.
another?
Yeah, no, I just have a suggestion, but I'll
Okay.
wait till everybody's
Okay.
done.
Andy and Benita.
Yeah, I was just gonna give a quick overview of the kind of conversation we had earlier. Benita, do you want to start?
No, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Okay.
So Benita and I met with a handful of the staff union organizers earlier this afternoon, as well as Sean from AFSCME, one of the AFSCME organizing reps. And we had a productive conversation. We asked about a number of things. We kind of just asked about their process for selecting AFSCME and got a little more color into that. We asked a little about, as we start to get into some of the details of the policy, like defining which sets of folks it would apply to, kind of how they might feel about some of the things we've been talking about on that front with respect to drawing lines around, excluding management employees, excluding finance, HR, IT, kind of the privileged positions, and then potentially excluding employees that have not worked at least 90 days in the last year. So kind of give them a little bit of preview of some of the things we're talking about on that front. We did, we're not asking them to say yes or no on any of these things, but kind of wanted to be upfront with some of the things we're looking at as we kind of put together the policy. A couple of asks from them that I think would be useful for us to keep in mind as you guys prepare kind of the draft version of the policy between now and our February meeting. I do think it would be useful for us to get them a copy of that prior to the meeting so that they have a chance to kind of read through whatever we'll be discussing at the meeting. Obviously, the sooner the better, but I do think if we want to have a productive conversation and actually get some commentary from them on whatever we're proposing there, more heads up we can give them, the better. So I would just say, let's think about that a little bit as you guys work through your timeline. The other ask they had is that, they would obviously be happy to continue to chat with folks. I enjoyed the chance to kind of chat with them today. If there's anyone on the board that has not had a chance to sit down with them yet, I would definitely encourage you to, we can select 2 folks tonight or however we want to do it, but I would encourage folks who haven't had a chance to meet with them yet to find some time between now and February to potentially sit down with them. They also did share a copy of the union card they've been circulating, so if you would like to see what one of those looks like, they have one that you're welcome to look at. Benita, anything
Nice
I
update.
missed?
No. Good.
Nothing else?
I would just encourage us to actually more officially designate 2 people for a meeting with them next. So we just don't have like the randomness or just a solo person meeting.
Why not?
But-
Two people that haven't met.
Yeah. Well, I guess, are there 2 people that haven't met that want to?
We have 3 left.
I want to, I just don't know that I can fit it in right now. My schedule is pretty nightmarish.
I know, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's like hard for me. I'm doing 2 nights a month
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
This is getting heavy.
Okay, I'm happy to meet with folks between now and February.
Okay,
What times are you generally meeting?
They were pretty flexible. We sent them a list of times.
Okay.
I don't know if you have specific times that you just can never do it or can always do it.
you could also do it virtually.
Yeah, so why don't you set up yours and then maybe send the info to me?
Yeah, I
and
can do it
then if we
virtually,
can do
just
it,
have
yeah,
a
then we
meeting
can,
down
you
here.
know, let's try that.
No,
Sure.
Yeah, okay, that'll work.
Yeah, Andy sent us some times and then we were able to send that back, so that was great.
Can someone just send me
Yes,
whatever I
we'll
need?
send you.
Yeah, thanks.
That's great. Yeah, if I can.
Okay, great.
And I'll get started
Yeah,
on
yeah.
something. So
Okay, yeah, I have thoughts, so.
Yeah.
already set.
On the call. Okay, so we have that. So Kara there is gonna set up some times and then share it with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I would just add that, I was just looking at my notes, like, one of the things that I heard that I think was really important for me to understand more about was just like, how would the structure of bargaining or a conversation happen between us and an organization or the staff team? And I was hearing that, ASME is there to, help our staff, help them run the council at the bargaining table, but they are not the lead, they are not the spokesperson or person for the employees. And so that was just important for me to hear that and to hear that the employees that we were talking with own this conversation and provide the leadership in that. I just add that. And you were going to say something about policy, and I just want to make a comment about something that was said about policy, which was this reference to decertification, and that we don't have that in our policy now.
What's that mean? Decertification?
It had to do
It
with,
would basically be if we wanted to spell out the process by which staff would choose to leave a union or pick someone other than AFSCME to represent them in the future. We haven't really talked about whether we want to spell that out. It doesn't necessarily have to be spelled out in our policy, but the AFSCME rep there did note that it was the kind of thing that sometimes does get included in those policies. If we didn't spell it out in the policy, it sounds like it's something we'd have to define as part of the collective bargaining. So we either define it in advance, we define it later, but one way or the other, we'll have to kind of spell out the process then.
and then the other thing that I didn't think I had more to add, but related to just employee.
Just like Amy.
Just employee engagement. And I had asked the group about whether there would be interest in not always an official union representative, but just employee representation or employee presence or an employee add-on to the agenda, just like the foundation has provided time for a report out. But just a way to more regularly engage with employees of the library district that are not necessarily a union topic or union aligned in that way, but that may be something that we want to consider in the future. And yeah, so I just thought it was important because I just value what I heard from employees, and it doesn't always have to just be in a negotiation formal relationship. So. Okay, that's really it.
Sounds good.
Great. The policy. So do you think if I said, like, you could get something to at least around like the second or third?
I would rather go later in the week.
I'm
in South Dakota next week and then I'm in DC the week
How
after
about
that.
the 5th?
So we meet again on the 17th.
Possible. We meet again on the 10th.
Oh, the 10th is, right.
The 6th.
Okay, it's a Friday, I mean, that's when our package is due,
Yeah, that's
so.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 3 days out, so.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's fine, I just think,
Okay.
we'll have to
Yeah,
send
and if
it,
we get it done earlier, we're good.
Yeah, of course.
yeah,
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I apologize for that. It's
that's
just
okay, it's
a
just,
little bit of trouble.
and I'm guessing, yeah, you'll draft it, have the attorney look at it, and make any, okay.
I mean,
Okay, I just don't know, like, I mean, the idea would be to look at, in my idea, and you guys can tell me if you think this is wrong, but we would have the policy pretty much set, unless there's major changes on it on the 10th, then we would take a vote up or down on the policy.
That's right.
On the 10th.
And you guys should feel free to email our attorney directly. Don't feel like you need to go through me. I can send her a note, tell her to expect you, but you have her email address and stuff. And she's engaged as our attorney, not mine, so you're welcome to reach out to her.
Yeah, it's nice though, I mean, at least copy Andy or somebody, because.
Yeah, if you want me to help, let me help.
Well, it's more of a way to
Yeah.
facilitate conversations and answer questions, so I don't know how we would do that.
Whatever you guys find easiest.
Will do.
Don't get complicated, it makes it more complicated.
Well, great. That's exciting.
Well, good.
Can I make an offer? So
Oh, wait.
if you have stuff around the policy now, because I know you have Tom's draft that was redlined by the lawyer. You had suggested you had some other ideas you'd like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that was the first draft, but we need to do a little bit more work on it.
If you would like to send in just ideas, we can put that into a draft format for you. Maybe get it done sooner.
Okay.
And also, you guys are engaging David as well. or Jennifer.
Yeah, of course.
That was the other thing you talked about.
Well, I just asked if David should be in any of these meetings with the design group before, and we
Yeah.
hadn't
My
discussed that.
My personal thought on that is that for right now, I like the direct communication between the board members and I'm afraid of just the imposition or judgment or something that they might perceive if like management was in there. And then I do think if we get to negotiations over a collective bargaining, that would be the appropriate time. That's just my personal thought.
I would agree with that.
I agree with that too.
And I would say we did spend a little bit of time discussing what negotiations might look like if we got to that stage, particularly who would be involved. And the staff did make a point of pointing out that they are looking to be an active participant in these negotiations and not just pass it off to AFSCME. Obviously, AFSCME will be representing them and acting as an advisor and potentially their negotiator, but they had underlined the fact that they wanted to be active in that, an active role in that negotiation. I said similarly, we're also looking to take a somewhat active role there, so.
Yes, I think you're gonna need Jennifer crunching numbers and
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
It's more than crunching numbers, Doug.
Yeah.
You
And you need your
need a voice for management.
your
It's
expertise.
such a conversation. It's like you don't run this library.
Right.
You hire me to do that.
That's right. That was my point. Okay. Good. Great work. So I guess you'll meet sometime before the 10th, right?
I'm gonna work on something and send it, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're gonna go from there.
Yeah.
Sorry. One conversation.
Someone is gonna tell me how to get.
Yes, I emailed.
One conversation at a time.
Yes.
For the things. Okay. Next item is, it's that time of year again.
And yeah, I have suggestions.
Okay, recruitment of trustees, go ahead.
Yes, okay, so in previous years, what we have done is we selected the selection committee. And then they went in and made the update to the packet. And then we approved the packet as a board. And that seemed to work really well. So I would suggest that we not discuss the packet or consider approving it, and we just simply select the selection committee and let them do the work. And then we can,
That's fine with me.
yeah, I mean, it worked really well last year and the year before, I believe.
Can I just make one minor adjustment to that? It's just to be clear, everything in here talks about twice a month.
Right, oh, no, yeah, so those are all the things that have to be,
Right.
adjusted, correct. I mean, so this is, the packet that you have is the old one. So whoever becomes the selection committee would go in and update this, yeah, including the dates and all that good stuff. With.
And my intent is to go back to meetings once a month here.
Correct.
Soon.
Yeah.
And I think March is gonna be tough. Maybe have 2 meetings, we're just gonna have to see, because of the, spring break schedule. But, I'm okay with that. Does anyone else have any so is anyone super, interested in, becoming a liaison, what is it, what do we call ourselves? Ad hoc? Or not ad hoc?
The selection committee.
So,
Yeah, but it's
so I was interested in helping.
But wait.
Because I'm not.
Well, no, I'm sorry, I was gonna say, then that prevents you from.
Yes, which I'm not going to, so,
I'm sorry.
but I was interested in helping for that
Then
reason.
you should definitely be on that.
I can help too, since I just did it.
I think it's really good for
Yeah.
you because you're gonna have to live with this person for
Yeah.
the next 4 years.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to deal with the longest.
Yeah, which I'm not doing.
So if you have strong opinions about it.
Yeah.
And it's really, the meetings, well, you just prepared it, so I don't have to explain it to you.
If you have any questions about like what we did before, you can reach out to me.
Yeah.
And we're happy to kind of walk you through what worked.
I don't know where to start, but.
Jennifer can email you the package.
Great.
And you guys can just review it.
Okay.
And we'll approve it, maybe at our next meeting, right? Yeah, even if we.
Yeah. I would just say that, I mean, what we did, sort of push to own more of the process is the part that's highlighted there, and I think that's
So
probably
that was a question I had.
far
The
as we
pieces
can
that
go.
are highlighted were in the packet last year. This is not a revised.
No.
This year.
Oh, this is the same packet.
So similarly, the interview questions, even though there's a set of stricken out ones.
We used the ones that were not stricken.
Okay.
Yeah, so last year we revised those questions.
So the strikeout questions are like
We're
2 years ago.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Like on page 13.
But we
Yeah.
can make recommendations to change them.
Yes.
Whatever you
Yeah.
like.
Right.
And these were a big revision over what was in place before. And
Yeah.
Can you remind me when we did the special meeting, didn't we all just come with 3 or 4?
We did.
I can go through my.
And I think a lot of that was because we had so much response. Like, we had a pretty
We had
large
37.
pool. We had
37.
a large pool of people, and so that was kind of just to help us. And if you remember, we took those recommendations after we all kind of did our review. We took those recommendations to the council and the commissioners. When they did their review, they knew who we were kind of.
Yeah, we sent that memo to them. We said these people had 4 votes, these people had 3 votes.
That's right.
All the lawyers are rolling off here next year.
So, but there's a way to fix that.
It's not going that way.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna come and comment when I leave.
Just come every month, just for fun.
So just one question. This outlined the schedule of putting to the public on the 7th, et cetera.
Yes.
So we're not gonna meet, so should we be in a position where we're gonna approve this to get it to the council on the 10th? We have a meeting on the 10th?
Yeah, so
Because we're
these,
gonna be falling behind on.
right, and no, and I think that will be, we'll want to take a look at that. Yeah, we just have to remember, we need the new trustee by the time.
May 1st.
There's no overlap with the new and the old, right?
No.
Yeah, our first regular meeting of May, or our annual meeting in May is also the first day for you,
Yeah,
for the new
it's,
person, and then the last day of the last
April meeting.
Yeah, you don't have to come to that meeting, but you're technically a board member until the first meeting in May.
We've also aligned elections committee appointments, so it is somewhat important we have them there at that.
Right.
So,
No, I'm just planning if all the lawyers start to roll off, there's no overlap, this would be the moment
It's okay. We still have.
Well, I mean, only one person is rolling
Next
off
year,
this
there's
year.
no overlap.
Yeah.
Next week, too.
But you're presuming we won't select a lawyer.
Well, that's what I'm thinking ahead. Maybe we should, so that there isn't overlap.
We shouldn't.
Because I'm like, oh God, if it's just me answering these questions, things get really scary.
Yeah, one of the things we tried to do is balance location, and we'll put a chart together where all the people are from, and we've kind of, it's not a formal agreement, but it's an informal agreement that we have at least one trustee outside of the city of Boulder. And you accomplished that now, but we're losing
We have more.
our other, so.
We only need, what, 1.5?
Yes,
1.5.
We just half it, so
It's like
we won.
they're years, at least 3 or 4 years.
I was
gonna
say.
So, anyway, so that's the deal. Okay.
Great.
Awesome.
The self-assessment survey, I've seen a lot of you have already completed that, and we will talk about that in our February regular meeting. And then after that, we'll do another one like in June or something, July, and then from there on out, my recommendation is we just do it for the retreat. We assess ourselves.
We also need to schedule the timing of the evaluation of the executive director, which used to tie with that as well.
Yes. Yeah. We did that in May or June. No, May. But we've redone
The year,
the
right,
year.
I'm just saying though. But it's-
So yeah, I mean, what do you think? Do we do it in?
When do we do his contract?
Well, now it's January 1st.
Okay. So I would kind of expect us to do his review in December.
So in the fall,
In the fall. That might be.
maybe look at it, a 360 type evaluation.
Yes, the next board president can arrange that. I'm still gonna help, but
Okay.
All right. Administrative, legal counsel. Okay, any more trustee matters? Sorry. All right. Hearing none, we're gonna move to the administrative.
You may recall from prior years, we had to do this annual administrative resolution. It just takes the items from the statute that the Board of Trustees are required to take care of and delegates or actually assigns that responsibility to somebody else. Most of it is for David. A couple of things are for me. I'm sorry it didn't get in the packet. We actually drafted it in December, which is a mistake. And it got lost somewhere. But essentially what it covers is your posting places, your meeting places, which of course you can change. Who is the custodian of the records, ensuring that insurance is purchased. This version is identical to what you've done the last 2 years. So unless you have some change, we can go ahead and approve it. There is one in the packet.
Do you have one anywhere?
Pardon me?
So do you have a copy anywhere?
I have a copy here.
Doug has a copy.
Did you email it out? That's
I
why
did
wasn't-
email it to everyone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was just today.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
No, I didn't print it because I didn't know.
Bring that.
All right, let's take a 5-minute break and we'll go make coffee.
I can read it on my phone. I just.
Okay.
Sorry.
Tom, you look curious, guys.
See, when Celia's not here, I had one sitting here, otherwise I would have said to go get us.
I didn't even think to bring one.
One of the things I've wondered about is just that the whole legal noticing issue and it, and the posting the daily camera as the whatever of record, right? And there has been like state conversations, state people conversing about, just the change in media and what's there that, there could be other opportunities for other entities and not a daily camera that's owned by who knows who, someplace else, but to keep money local and the costs aligned with community building, right?
Yeah, and you can use any newspaper that is in general circulation within the district. So it doesn't have to be the camera, and you can change it.
Does
Could
it,
it be the Boulder Reporting Lab?
does it have to be in print?
I would say it probably has to be in print.
One of them has to be in print. So most of your notices are put on on your website now, but you still have to have a print one for a number of different things. The old statutes require that.
So
somebody will fix it.
And when
have a
Boulder
choice?
Daily
It's not the
Camera goes
camera?
out of business, we're just gonna have to revise that statute.
Then you pick another one.
There are no other ones.
Well, the Denver
There's
Post.
one person left printing in Boulder and
Well, the Denver
circulation.
Post is in
Denver
general
Post.
circulation, right?
Yeah,
In Boulder.
Denver Post.
But it's owned,
you know
but
what?
it's owned by the same people.
Yeah.
So
So is Littleton.
It has to be a
that doesn't solve
printed
Anita's
publication.
problem.
But yeah, at this point, wider circulation is probably in the digital publications, but you're
Yeah.
saying those don't count for the purpose of the statute.
You know, I think it would take like state legislation or something to change that.
Yeah, they changed it in several places in the statute to allow it to just be electronic media, but there are other places that didn't get changed, so it'll happen eventually, but for now, you need to designate one.
That's what a town crier do.
Really.
Strict about that.
And shouldn't it be the Boulder Daily Camera?
Yeah, does it not say?
No, it's Daily
Okay,
Camera.
we can fix it.
Oh, isn't it this?
Do you have there's something around, a lot of the counties have something called Your Hub or something like that? There's a lot of districts that use that, Your Hub.
It's,
HUB.
but I think it's like a sub-publication of like the Denver Post.
Could be.
It's a supplemental thing that's, yeah,
It's not in,
insert.
it's not in print in Boulder.
Okay. But it's in circulation, that circulation is the issue.
I don't,
And so we don't have a Boulder Weekly.
I've never seen your house in Boulder.
Yeah, we have Yellow Scene. Yellow Scene is Boulder, but that's a magazine, monthly magazine. But yeah, they do publish. Wow. Thank you.
Okay, well, I,
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the annual administrative resolution of the Boulder Public Library District for 2026. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You have another matter? I have another matter too. Sorry, we might go back to. Oh, you said.
no, we approved it, but there was just something I saw that I was, I know what it was. I'd like us to consider meeting locations at Gun Barrel, because I'd still like to meet there. And North Boulder, I mean, we haven't been out anywhere in a while.
We're not the same calling capacity in those other locations, but we can hook something up.
Yeah, let's look for
Okay.
in the spring. I think that would be the big
Because of
thing.
the snow and the bad weather we might be having.
Yeah.
It's snow.
Well, it's mainly the IT stuff
I'm
because
just kidding.
there's not real IT capacity. Even the Novo community room has a projector. We'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I would just encourage us to be out there and
For Gun Barrel, I think we'd have to just take over part of the floor, maybe.
Amy, do we have these systems in any of the ranch libraries?
We do. We've got the Novo Library, second floor meeting room can accommodate, and we have a mobile cart in the Gun Barrel Library.
Okay. Okay. That's good. All right.
We can make it work.
We'll make it work. Okay.
And then related, I wanted to ask about the attendance and participation at Gun Barrel and at North Boulder. And questions are prompted by reading next door and reading some of the comments that the naysayers have expressed. And I just wondered, what are those numbers like?
I have to look it up, Anita.
Or just give us just a general sense.
Well, last year, Novo's attendance is the highest after Maine. So the door count is the highest of any branch. And I think that's probably around 10, a little over 10 to 11,000 per month.
Nice.
Meadows and Reynolds are probably still in that 9 to 10,000 range. Gun Barrel's about 6 to 7. Circulation, I think Meadows still leads all the branches after Maine. Meadows and Reynolds are always kind of neck and neck on that. Nova would be third, Cumberland fourth, in terms of books checked. We don't measure where you come from for a digital circulation.
Mhm.
And it's increasingly hard to track circulation to a particular building, really. I mean, in terms of volume, it's insignificant.
And the checkout lockers, how are those working out?
They crashed during the windstorm and was.
Not like physically.
Yes.
Oh, they got
We put in a claim that it's a total loss, but it's, we believe it was an error of installation. I think that the company who installed it is gonna have to pay to get us maybe a new machine if it's total loss. I haven't heard an update on.
Yeah, so update, we're relocating it to sit up against the windows of the building, so it's protected from wind and other weather events. We don't know what the damage is because we haven't been able to plug it in and test it out. So facilities is in the process of rerouting the data and the power to the new location and extending the concrete pad because we'll need it to be ADA accessible because it will be aligned with the outdoor induction. And so not only will somebody need to get to the locker and in the locker, they'll need to get past the locker to get to the outdoor induction. So.
Up until that point, it was being well used, but intermittently. And I wouldn't be ready to say. I mean, I think it was popular for the people who used it, just like the call center is popular for the 17 people who call in. It's not necessarily a cost-effective system that we're ready to deploy in other locations. I think if we asked the public, they'd say, "Awesome, we love it." But it's going to have to hit volume at a hike longer than you get a locker for 7 days, right? That's not probably an efficient model that would deliver on the cost of the actual machine itself to test it as an effective tool. And we haven't got the processes in place right now in order to make it a different hold time from the other locations. So it's an experiment. I think once we get it back up and running, we'll give you some better data on it. But we need 6 months.
I wondered why when I tried to reserve a book there, I was like, it wasn't a drop-down menu item. So I just felt it was full or something. Okay.
Okay, well, that's helpful to know. Thank you.
Yeah, on the social media thing, the next door stuff, I reached out to Mark Wallach just about his hotline post, because obviously he could post that to the whole city and then it gets posted up on Nextdoor, and then, people who have no clue comment about how, whatever, we're, misusing taxpayer funds as he implied, or
Immediately want a mortgage.
yeah, or whatever. Yeah. And so I reached out to him. Instead of sending a curt email, I just said, I'd like to speak to you. So we'll see if he reaches back out to me. And if he doesn't, I'll go to public comment and reach to him there at the city council meeting. So we'll see.
Well, would you be comfortable communicating your reply to him on Nextdoor?
I mean, I posted it in I posted my full reply in the comment thread from his thing. Yeah.
Okay, because I think that would help.
And people said thank you.
I don't have anything to say about Mark or your reply. I mean, that's just interlocution. The line that I've been perpetuating, and that's the city's line, from when they initially recommended that the land come to the buildings all come to us. These are community, I think we need to stick to this. These are community assets. They were bought and paid for by the community for and purpose-built for libraries, right? Mm-hmm. The city is no longer in the library business. The Boulder Public Library District is in the library business. These governments always just transfer these. They're community assets. Mark's idea, I can totally get it, right? Like from you're inside an organization, you have to think of yourself in some ways as an enterprise for operational efficiency. It's important to think about, I'm spending somebody else's money, I need to be as efficient as possible, run this like a business, all the other nonsense that people say. The reality is that the government doesn't own anything. And I don't know, we can debate that all you want, I'm not gonna back up an inch. I don't think he understands that. Government does not own these buildings. The public owns these buildings. 90% of the people who paid for them are dead or moved away, right? It began in 1907, in the 80s, even the North Boulder Library. The community has more money in those buildings than the general fund committed at any one time. Every single one of them was funded by a specific taxpayer measure that called out the library, and the voters went in and voted to tax themselves to pay money for the library. They didn't say, let me just give this money to the city so they can realize value and take ownership. That's not what they ever intended. They intended to build library buildings, they are library assets. I need to think we stick to that. I don't think we need to debate tit for tat with Mark Wallach or any other city council member. The city of Boulder's position in the government has not changed. They still
break
believe
that up.
Yeah,
That would be helpful for us to have.
it's a community asset.
I think that whole chronology, just like you just said, if you had that on a piece of paper, would be useful. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we have all of that, Johnny.
Johnny did a history of every single dollar that was spent.
Yeah, I mean, we have like,
Going back to
she has
1907.
she has like the full history of George Reynolds. I mean, not that
Well,
Margaret would read it, but I mean, she has like,
It won't convince Mark. We're not into
yeah, we're not into that.
He's not
We don't need Mark's vote.
Yeah,
We just
but
need 4 others.
yeah, so I think like, yeah, so I replied, I said, well, I still think it's, you know, it's important when someone does something, you know, you know, to reach out to them and ask them what their intention was or what their belief is, even if they don't offer the same back. And so that's what I've done.
I thought your reply, Mark, was good as well.
Yeah, I hope you got it. But the, did the city council at all discuss our letter or?
It came up on one person's agenda item for the council agenda. It was not taken up. So one person brought it up as an item for their agenda. They did not take it up at this time. I don't know how exactly to read that, but my assumption is that means that we're back to the original timeline, which says that we will discuss this in 2027. Now, I know that it was a request of the board that we begin those discussions now if it's necessary. The city doesn't feel like it's necessary. They feel like it's an easy transaction. They signed it, and they hand it to us.
Yeah, I think.
I don't think that the city doesn't think it's coming.
If we want to force the issue, I think we can force it.
Yeah, I think we should just talk to Nuria and see, because like Nuria, is for her, it's all staff work. It's not. I mean, the council has to approve it, but yeah. I mean, with this history, we can ask Johnny what we have in the files.
The holdup in the last time was the political issue, right? The mere fact that you wrote a letter requesting an action of a different government entity made it a political issue, which generated a political response to which you responded in some ways politically, right? So now we're engaging in a conversation, which is a political conversation about assets, which are in no way political. They are community assets. The community bought and paid for them. It's not a political issue. Let's try and, I mean, my recommendation to you would be don't make it one.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, but the politicians are gonna have to decide.
I think it's always going to be a political issue.
I think so too. But we'll see. I think.
But you have 5 votes. Do you want to make 2 angry?
Well, yeah, that's the question, is do we have 5 votes?
Well, I was just thinking about the dinner meeting that we had with them, which our minutes reflect that conversation, that they were very positive about.
Was Mark?
You know, no. But maybe there's a way to get his peers to acknowledge the conversation too. So,
So yeah, we'll think on it more. I think and figure out how to.
Yeah, we don't have to answer those questions.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have. Anybody else? I'm gonna use my gavel. Meeting adjourned. And not 8 o'clock. Yeah.
because
I need to sign. I'm so appreciative.